Greetings, guys. I hope you are doing well wherever you are. My name is Witness. I'm Sive. Hi, guys. Guys, I just want to, talk about a little bit. Talk about Phala Phala. You know, the issue about Phala Phala. I don't know whether we are all in good understanding of it. From my side, I understand one thing that seems to be, or that triggered so many things within. First of all, there was a theft that occurred. So, as this theft occurred, there was actually no case that was open at that time for the police to do their investigation. So, this was seen to be something that was kept under wrap. So as it was kept there to this dark place for no one to see it then through whatsoever. Remember, if you recall when it was 2021, if I'm correct there, but there was this July unrest which occurred around that year when the former president Jacob Zuma was arrested. Then, as it Fraser, he was the Minister of Correctional Service at that time. So, what happened was that Jacob Zuma was not well, and then the checks and everything were done, and indeed they all came out to be like he is not well. So then the minister took it upon himself to release Jacob Zuma. That was medical parole, if we do recall. Right. So as time went by and the years, then something happened in Phala Phala. Phala Phala, the owner of Phala Phala is President Cyril Ramaphosa. So it's a game farm. So theft occurred. So some foreign notes were stolen. And then as they were stolen, they were found to be under, mattress, right? So these foreign notes were supposed to be put where they were supposed to be put. The exchange to the monies of South Africa, or to the currency of South Africa. So this foreign currency, was supposed to be, if everything actually was legal, then everything was supposed to go the right place, which was, or it did not happen in that way. So at that time, the Minister of Correctional Service released the former president Jacob Zuma on medical parole, which many people did not like it, and it was brought to the attention of the president, and then president decided otherwise about the Minister Fraser. So with the information that Minister Fraser, he had this information for some time. So he then released a newspaper stating that there was a theft that occurred in uh, Phala Phala Game Reserve, which is owned by President Cyril Ramaphosa. And that theft was never reported. And then there were some individuals who went out to investigate, and through their investigation, they managed to locate those who stole the money. And it looks like it was the workers, you know, of President Cyril Ramaphosa. Those people who are working in that game reserve, they stole the money, and that money, the currency is in dollars. So they had to look and find these people. Right? Everything happened in that way. And then later, there was so much of rumors. There were so many people saying so much of things, Of course, or eventually, then a case of theft was open. So for me, it's more like, if you don't open a case, we'll report you. You are supposed to open a case. So if you are someone who is a victim in whatsoever crime, then you decide not to open a case, you decide maybe to do your own investigation. You find the people who stole from you, and then you deal with them, and they give back what they stole from you. And then you decide, you know what, I'm not going to open the case because I managed to find what I lost, or what was stolen, or what was taken from me. Then you settle it like that. So for some, it was not enough. It was said to be something that was incorrectly done, of which I think one thing that brought so much of attention was the money that was found, which was, a lot of money. It was a lot of money that was found. So with currency or to say a foreign currency. And then one thing that came now was that, is it money laundering or what it is? Because so much of monies, and it looked to be like the owner of the game reserve was busy cleaning this money in some way, right? As this was brought to the attention of the public, public started to talk about it. News started to, to make its rounds. But then the president, because there was so much of things being said, and then the president, was then called. There were so many things. Many people decided to open a case, and then some went to constitutional court, and Parliament actually ruled that there was nothing onto what was seen as this money whatsoever. Then what do you call this? They went further, man. They went further as to try to impeach the president, and then that was not successful, because remember the votes and everything. At that time, ANC was a majority party that time, and even in parliament. So the vote and everything could not win what everyone wanted at that time. Like, there were people who wanted him to be impeached, right? And some were calling for his resignation, and all this and all that. But what mattered most to some was that there should be something that needs to happen. And then over the time, there was one political party, if I'm sure, which went to the Constitutional Court, you know, to ask the Constitutional Court to do the review, you know. And then I think this year it was found that no, the parliament actually acted unconstitutional, you know. Um, so there was nothing constitutional about what the parliament did. So now the report back is that no, President Cyril Ramaphosa has to answer. Now there were meetings, which were held by ANC, Big Five. ANC, I think it's 6 or 7, members. So there were meetings that were held in discussing this matter of Phala Phala, which seemed to bring so much of attention. And many people said that, hey, the president must resign. Now, the president made his media briefing where he also stated straight that he won't resign. He won't resign. So now we are waiting for the parliament to sit. After these meetings, the parliament to sit, if they propose this impeachment. And what will this impeachment do to the president? Well, it take away his like when you are an advocate and then you do something and then they find that you are guilty of such and then they disbar you. So all of those rights that you used to have, you won't practice. I don't know whether it's like no more, but you won't practice. Now, for the president, remember, they've got these allowances, they've got these things. If you are a president, a retired president, you still have the security, you still have this, you still have that. Well, those things be taken away from the president if the process of impeaching him goes successfully. So that is one of the things that we really have to think about, because if it's good for the person who is an advocate and then gets disbarred and then lose, like the case of Defo. Remember the case of Defo, where he was arrested inside the court that was on the warrant, right? And there were so many things that he said, and some of those things were seen as disrespectful, and for someone of his caliber was not supposed to act in such a manner. Then he was disbarred. Now he no longer practices, and he can't call himself advocate therefore anymore, up until whatsoever changes. But as far as it goes, he can't call himself advocate, therefore he can't practice, Okay, now the president, if he gets impeached, okay, let's face it in this way. If you remember, Judge Klope, he was impeached so um, his pension and everything that he used to he was supposed to get, he did. The story says he did not get anything of such because of he was impeached, and he was then disbarred, and now we know him as Dr. Shope, not Judge Shope anymore. Do you see this? A man that worked for so many years serving this country for just one thing that he did. It turned everything. But I think at some point he was supposed to take that golden glove, and live just like that. Sometimes we can fight things, but not everything. Not everything. Because I believe if he actually, it was gonna be like that. If he did take that golden glove, those millions, he would still have his pension. He would still be called what he was called for so many years. And if he decide to build or open his own firm, he would do that. But with the stubbornness that some people have, and they sometimes think that, you know what, they will win whatever. But this did not go that way. So now, if things turns, remember, one thing that what I see here is that our President Cyril Ramaphosa, he's aiming on few things. Like, for instance, he's got the ANC support, and that ANC support will support him and will vote with him or for him to not be impeached. Because why? They think so much of things that will change. Remember, ANC is no longer a majority leader at all. And now the fear is that if they remove Ramaphosa there, now they will sit with someone that these other political parties, this is it? Let me say it right. Because sometimes I like to say, or sometimes I say AGU, AGU is one of the anti-gang unit that operates in Western Cape and in Gauteng. I'm not fully sure if it's like that, but it's something of such. It's GNU. It's government, or NGU, National Government of Unit. Yeah, something of such. But I will check that. But I want to say this. I want to speak about this. That is why I didn't go further or in detail of checking certain things. But in my thinking is that there is a deputy president within the African National Congress, ANC. And he is also a deputy president of the country. Now, most political parties are not keen to work with him. So as far as they are not keen to work with him, the fear now, if President Ramaphosa leaves the post that he is in now, then someone must be elected by these other units, by these other political parties, or ANC elects their president and then they shift, they remove those who are not in agreement with them. They start maybe to form part with MK EFF and other parties to make this this NGU, is it NGU or GNU or whatever? But it's more like government, national government of unit or government national, but I'm not sure. Let me leave it at that. But now, when they join, when they decide to say, okay, look, we've got 43%, for us to get that 69%, let's remove these other parties, let's bring in other parties that will be in agreement with what we want them or we want to achieve. Then they will do so. They will do so. But what is important is that it's Phala Phala. The issue here is Phala Phala. Not only that, Phala Phala, the monies that were found there. Remember, the president was a victim. But now the state is the victim, because we are not fully sure, even though SARS went and say, no, there was nothing found sinister about the monies that were found in this game reserve. Let's come back. Let's talk about SARS. SARS found Phala Phala to be not doing money laundering. But to be honest, the truth is that all these state entities are corrupt. That is the truth. Foreign currency was found in President Game Reserve, Phala Phala. Now, SARS did their investigation. Through their investigation, they now say, or they found out, or their end results was that, no, there was no foul play there. There was nothing sinister about this and that. These monies, they came in lawfully so. But why were they kept there? Why were they kept in such currency, foreign currency? No, why not in our currency? We would understand that one. Would understand that one. So there are so many things that are happening that are still under the carpets, but they are coming up. They are coming out, and many people are seeing them, and many people are sick and tired. They are telling the tale. So the Phala Phala saga is not going to end up until something right is being done. I think some of those who investigated that case, they did not do what they were supposed to do to preserve the evidence that was found there. Let alone that there are people who are not investigators who went to investigate the case, and it was never brought to the attention of South African Police Service up until Minister Fraser openly spoke about, and that was then, because newspapers were circulating and they were talking things about Phala Phala. Never mind that. Let's now try to look in one thing. Why corruption seems to be holding such a power in South Africa. And whosoever who comes with information, they take that person out. Why is corruption seem to be the main here in South Africa? Let's not talk about whistleblowers. People are dying. They whistleblow and they die. No one is safe. If you talk out things, you'll die. They will take you out. But let's talk about Phala Phala. What it is that everyone seems to be so protective about Phala Phala, and what it is that seems to be protected, or why people are protecting our president when they find that president is at the wrong. Remember, many people were very hopeful about President Cyril Ramaphosa because he was seen to be genuine and he was seen to be a big businessman, a billionaire by virtue of it. And many were very hopeful. They thought that at least this president will do his work and he won't put himself or set anything wrong. But there are so many things that everyone is crying about. But we will dive into those things on our next episode. Thank you very much, guys. This channel is new and this channel is gonna grow because of you. And thank you for what you're about to do for this channel. Thank you for not forgetting to subscribe and like and comment, because those comments sometimes they give us understanding of what you really want to see or get more from the channel that we are indeed trying to build. You know, it's not only for us, it's also for you guys out there, because you are the ones who watch it and you are the ones who intend to subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you very much for your support. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I thank you. Till next time.